Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. Today we have a family with us. They're going through a transition of a kind. Today, to my left, we have Konnor Dishino. Konnor was actually born a girl, and her name was Carissa. She's now transitioning into becoming a boy named Konnor. And Konnor's mother, Carrie.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, let me just say I've got to thank you for coming on, because this is a topic that a lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable coming on a TV show to talk about, especially you, Mom. You gave birth to a little girl named Carissa,
Yeah.
and now you're in the process of having a son named Konnor. Actually, you're now Konnor.
Yeah.
Now, when did you change your name?
We haven't legally done it,
Yeah.
but we're in the process of doing it right now.
Right. Now, how did this all come about? Because, I know we talked about this beforehand, especially your mother and I, back and forth on the internet, is we talked about what you wanted to get out of it, and it was, kind of like an education, so, an acceptance. How did this come about? When did you know that you were not that little girl that you were born?
I guess I've always kind of known. I don't know. I guess I've always dressed like a boy, kind of, and I don't know. I just always got along with boys more than girls. And I came out as I liked girls because I didn't know what transgender was then. So then when I found out what it was, I was just like, that's who I am.
Right. So at that time, then you thought you could have been a lesbian.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
She was.
I identified as that for a long time, actually.
Right. Now, how do you actually define the difference in a way then? Of deciding whether you're a lesbian versus transgender.
I guess I'm not comfortable in the body that I'm in.
Right.
I just don't like the features that I have now, so that's why I'm going through this transition to, get boy features and to eventually get surgeries and
Now, Carrie, you gave birth to a daughter.
Yeah.
When did you see anything at an earlier time?
Well, in preschool, he wanted to be called Luke for a long time. I'm like, you're not Luke, you're Carissa. And after a while, it just went away. But maybe back then he really knew. But then he got sick with cancer.
Right.
So I don't know if that blocked some of it, and then it just came out later on.
Right.
Not
So
sure.
tell me, and some of these are going to sound like really naive questions.
Oh.
What is the difference of a tomboy
right.
versus transgender then? Is it just how you feel?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Right.
I mean, being a tomboy is you're a girl, dressing like a boy, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's how it is.
I think your sister's more of a tomboy. She's not
but I was like that too.
Yeah, I never had
So-
girly girls
I don't know. I've never been into dresses or anything like that. I don't.
when she was little.
But yeah, but I mean,
Have you ever tried that and just see how it felt?
I wore. I don't know. I just didn't feel
Was
like it
it
was
7th
me.
grade you wore a dress?
I don't know. Well, when I went to camp, we did prom stuff, so I wore dresses and stuff. But I just felt like that wasn't.
She went to a cancer camp.
Wasn't who I was. I guess I just.
Okay, Carrie. How did this come about? How did she come to? Well, it was a she at the time.
Right.
How did your daughter come to you and get this conversation? Because it's not a conversation that a lot of kids go to their parents on.
Well, yeah, he didn't really tell me. He texted me.
Yeah, I'm not good at conversation.
Him and his little brother would fight all the time. I'm like, why are you so angry? And I couldn't figure it out. And then once he told me that he was lesbian, I'm like, oh, that was it? Really? And he felt so much better. They never fought again. And now, at first you were bisexual because you didn't really know if he liked boys or girls. That was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
8th grade
7th, yeah.
until
7th
just
grade I started dating girls. So, I mean, yeah.
So,
kind of just she just texted me and said, by the way,
I want to be a boy. Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much how I came about it.
and now we talk about it because more open.
how has your whole family been about this? How have they been accepting?
Yeah, we were like very supported, actually, yeah.
Did they probably had you think about it, because even though I'm sure you spent years thinking
Right.
about it, but I'm sure before before everything started, I'm sure they probably said, okay, let's go over this.
Yeah.
What happened?
I didn't really do that.
No?
No, I said we always said if our kids were gay or lesbian, we'd accept them no
Right.
matter what. And then
Kind of got me an appointment like a week after I told her, so
yeah,
that was awesome. I mean, like, so,
Now, what you're in high school now?
yep.
What kind? I've had kids. I think my last one graduated from high school maybe 6-7 years ago, and I've been out like 30 years. How accepting are people your age now?
I mean, some people, like, they still call me Krissa and stuff.
and that really.
And
bothered-
I don't know, I guess, it bothers me. And, like, I don't want to, like, tell them over and over again, like, call me Konnor, because that's just, like, they should know, I guess.
But do you think?
I had a hard
sometime-
time.
But do you think sometimes that they do? Do you think they do it on purpose, or do you think just sometimes it's kind of like slipping back?
I could tell, like, when someone's, like, they slip, like some of my friends, they don't do it anymore, but, like, when I first, like, they would call me Chris, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, and I was just like, it's fine, like, just,
Do you find overall though? What about you, Mom? That your reaction, the reaction you've gotten, are people pretty accepting?
Yeah, some people are like, what? But most of my friends are, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but and you probably don't even mind, having to explain to, because it isn't a day-to-day conversation that we have.
Yeah.
And I think that's how come it's great that you were willing to come on to try to dispel some of the myths and just trying to get people to understand, because even I know we were talking before the show, I have 10 years on you. I'm going to be 50 here in a few days, and even in that shorter period of time, our period of time, things have changed
yeah.
a lot. And so how long ago did you make this proclamation to your mother?
Oh,
3 months?
yeah.
About
Yep.
3 months.
Right.
3 months
Yep.
ago that he said that he was a boy. Even though I've been buying boy clothes for, I don't know
Yeah.
why, I never put 2 and 2 together.
Right. How did you go about it with school? With your peers, you've told them, but what about the
Right.
teachers? How did you handle that?
Well, we went to our counselor, or my counselor, and she told like all my teachers like she wants to become a boy, and she wants to be called Konnor. So like all my teachers, they call me Konnor and everything. So
Do you ever have any sleep? But teachers must even slip up occasionally, no?
nope, not really.
So without going, any more details than you feel comfortable with, so you say you've begun the transition.
Yeah,
What's that like? Without getting too personal.
right. Yeah.
Moody.
There's
Very moody.
Yeah, I'm really moody. But that's normal. Like, I'm liking how everything is changing, even though it's like slowly. It's nice to,
I can see in pictures. Like,
Yeah, there's definitely my face is changing.
So it's hormone treatments.
yeah,
Right.
on testosterone.
Right. Yeah, I know you were talking about before the show. We were talking about baldness and everything. You said, well, I could go for a little facial
Right.
hair.
Yeah.
Now, does that occur as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, has anybody asked you this? Because I know there's going to be people watching, and that's how come I'm asking some of the questions. Is how about if you change your mind? Is this something that you just woke up and say, I'm going to be a boy today, or is this something that you're not going to change about because this is who you are?
Yeah, I have I don't think I'm ever going to change my mind about this.
Right.
Nope.
Now, what about your siblings? Because they're used to. You said you have a brother that used to bat you around. It sounds like.
Other way around, but
how are your siblings?
they're good. They're accepting.
What do they call you?
They call me Konnor.
That's when they decide to call you by your first name. Either way, because I have a feeling if you're like most siblings, they probably have other terms of endearment.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're so fortunate to have your mother who is willing to accept you, because I've been watching on. There was a story recently on the internet, and I'm not sure if it's a new story or if it's just recycled. But I have a feeling it's a story that's repeated continually. Is there was this young man who was transitioning to become a girl, and her parents would not accept that no matter what. And before he committed suicide, he left a letter saying, if in my death, the only thing she wanted was for people to understand acceptance. And this got a dialogue going. Can you understand how people, if you didn't have somebody like her, how somebody could commit suicide?
Yeah, definitely. If she wasn't accepting, I wouldn't be able to do, I wouldn't be able to be who I truly was. So in the past I've thought about not wanting to be here because I just didn't feel comfortable in my skin, and I just didn't want to be alive because I wasn't who I was. So the fact that she was really accepting of me wanting to do this is
So when you get out of bed now, how do you feel compared to how you felt before?
Way better. I can't even describe it.
When do you graduate from high school?
2016.
2016.
Oh, next year, yeah.
And are you looking forward to that?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do after that?
I want to be a therapist, kind of. I don't know if that's the right word. Or it's psychologist. Yeah, something to help people.
Right.
So.
Well, I have my degree. I have my degree in psych. I don't use my degree per se, but I think it helped me through my writing, and you'll have a lot to bring to the table.
Right.
Yeah. Been through a lot. Cancer.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you had cancer?
7.
7.
A long time ago.
That must have been a scary.
Yeah.
So in other words, this is probably relatively, I won't say mundane, but compared to almost, I don't know if you almost lost him, but anytime you have cancer,
Oh
let's be
that
real.
goes through my head all the time. That's gonna come back, and yeah.
So when you understand that there's a whole, losing a kid, you're just, I hate to say, you may have lost a daughter, but you gained a son.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
So how did you come up with the name Konnor?
It just felt like it fit. I don't know.
Did you change what's your middle name?
It's Autumn.
Are you
Very girly.
Yeah, but Autumn, most of the time.
But he's not keeping
No,
that either.
No. So what are you going to have for a middle name?
Erin.
Same initials, but
Yeah, I'm keeping all the same stuff.
So what do you have to do with birth certificates? Are you still listed as a?
Yep.
Well, you're still listed as a girl.
Yeah.
And will that follow you right through?
Until we get my name legally changed, then we have to change all that stuff too after.
Now let's go to the school culture and that. Is you go to North Country?
Yep.
Do you have people come right out, whether at school or say your mother? Do you have people come right out and just say, "I don't understand. Can you explain?"
Yeah, when I first came out, a lot of my friends were just "Can you just explain this to me? This is totally new. I never even knew this could, you could do that. People they just don't know. So it's I will explain it to them as best as I can, but so.
Yeah, and I think you still come up with questions for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about the school part is the bathroom.
Right.
That's what I wish
Yeah.
they should change about every restaurants, malls. They only have boys and girls. They should have a unisex.
I said,
Bathroom.
does that, like, I see some that says families. Does that fill the bill? Like, you have males, females, and then you have, or you have sometimes, I think they say family or something like that.
Yep.
Does that work, or would you rather, what would you like to see?
Just like a unisex bathroom, because like at school, like I don't want to go into the girls' bathroom, and like I kind of don't want to go into the boys
Right.
yet. Like so, it's like
They have her going to nurse.
I have
Him. See, I still do it too. Him going
So,
to the nurse.
I don't know.
It's obvious you don't mind talking about it since you wanted to come on the show. So if somebody comes up to you and they're respectful about it, and I'm not talking about strangers, but your friends, you don't mind talking about it and explaining and everything.
Nope.
Are you going to become like not a spokesperson, but there are people, you do have something to offer people that, at least as far as education, because there are a lot of people who just don't understand, and they're not, I don't think they're casting judgment, they just want to understand.
Right.
And that's how come, I think it's great that the two of you are willing to come out here, because you know what is you're talking to an audience out here. Some people, they
have no idea.
they have no idea, or they just think that I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be a girl, or I'm going to be a guy, but you're saying that isn't the way it works.
No.
Right.
I still think even when he was little, he probably knew. But Luke doesn't fit him anymore, I
No.
guess.
So how can you name yourself Luke?
I don't even remember this happening.
He doesn't
I don't know.
remember a
She's-
lot
she-
of
yeah, she's
like the
told me,
cancer
like-
stuff either. So I just
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's told me like, you wanted to be Luke, and I was just like, what? I was just like, oh, I don't know. Luke's just not for me. I don't know.
Right. If people are, 'cause let's be real, is when you're in high school, it is it is a time of questioning, trying to figure out who you are. But the thing is some people don't figure out who they are to many years later. Have you met anybody who have come up to you and said they wished they had been able to be this open years ago? And I'm sure, and to tell you the truth, after this show, I'm almost guaranteed you are going to have people come up to you and say, if only society could have been like this back then. I think you'll run into some of that, whether it's with, gays or lesbians or transgender, because, as I said, I'm 50 and I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Are you?
I've got people on the internet that's wrote to me before on Facebook and saying what a great parent you are to accept your son for who he is. Not very many people are like that.
Right. Have you had any negative?
No.
No, it's
Some
all-
people look at me like they'll say, "Oh, how many kids do you have?" If I meet someone new, and I'm like, "Well, I used to have a girl, but not a daughter." I always say that, and they're just looking at me, but
Because they don't know.
They don't really
Like,
know.
yeah.
Nobody really knows what that is.
Right. And I think the show will help that. There's going to be people who are watching this show and who are going to click, turn it off.
Yep.
But that's okay. It's really their loss.
Yep.
And so you're going to be a counselor after?
Yep.
Do you hope to? Are you going to be one of the Northeast Kingdom folks who set sail for the bigger world, or are
Yeah.
you gonna,
Yeah.
He wants-
Definitely want to get out of here.
Far away.
do you have a support network other than your family, or do you really need one? Because you're obviously self-confident. But,
Yeah.
But I know the Burlington area has support groups and everything. But do you need one? Do you have one?
I mean, I don't really need one. I mean, I know people like not from around here that are going through what I'm going through. So I mean, I have them to talk to and stuff. So
Right. And probably the internet helps.
yeah.
It opens the world.
Yeah.
Open
He
to-
showed
yeah.
me some people on Instagram that
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, you would have never
You-
thought
yeah,
they were
you'd-
girls. Homecoming queen to now a boy. Like,
Well, and vice versa is,
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen some women, and wait a minute here. No, they used to be guys. It's like, okay, they've did everything right.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And they say if she would have told me before he hit puberty, they could have stopped it, like from the breast growing to be more male. But we didn't know that until
Right.
after. I didn't know that either. I learned that at the doctor's.
So what is besides career? Do you plan on getting married someday?
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
Just
I can't have my own, but yeah.
Right. So you're gonna you're gonna live your life as Konnor No.
Yep.
So I understand one of your hobbies is writing. You're right up my alley. Actually, when I was your age, I probably have English. I know I have English teachers that to this day wonder what the heck. How did you become a writer? Well, I did it through a lot of trial and error, and I worked at the Chronicle for years, and they gave me great experience. But you ever thought about writing a book?
Yeah, I definitely want to do that one day. Like, if I started it, I would I would definitely finish it.
Right.
Like,
And you have to finish your story first to see where
Right.
where this whole journey takes. Do you write down? Do you have a journal or anything that you?
no, I don't have a journal.
This didn't come overnight, as you were saying.
Right.
It sounded like a little bit like a roller coaster as you tried to
Yeah.
identify yourself. Because here's a photo of you now in 7th grade. Explain this photo.
I was just so really girly. Like, I just don't even know. I just make up everything. Like,
Blonde hair.
Blonde hair. I don't even know. Like, it was crazy. Wearing purple and like.
You wouldn't
Oh
even.
my God, it was
You wouldn't even go to
crazy.
school if your hair wasn't good.
Oh nope. Nope.
That's how girly.
I was
in
yeah.
7th
just-
grade, and then
But how did you feel then? When you had that on, were you trying to convince yourself, or was that really you?
I don't think that was really me. I mean, like, I wanted to fit in as a girl, but I just wasn't. Like,
So at the time that you came forward with your mother and she had said, no, here, just put on this pink dress and you'll feel like a girl.
Oh my God.
How would you have felt putting on that
Oh,
pink dress?
I probably went to put it on. I probably went to.
Right.
Nope.
and you went through black. Everything was
Oh,
black,
I was-
black.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is an 8th grade picture?
Yeah.
8th grade. Now explain this photo.
I don't know. I just went through like a wicked drastic change. Like, I was just like, I don't want this long hair anymore. No more makeup. I was like a completely different person, but like not really. Just like my appearance wise was completely changed from the year before. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To look back.
Yeah.
But as you're going through the physical changes, that you slowly started to feel like you were Konnor.
Right.
And the hair got
Like,
shorter.
I cut.
and shorter.
Yep. It just kept getting shorter and shorter.
The hair was shorter and shorter and shorter, and now it's.
Yeah.
Now you said you identified yourself as a lesbian for a while. How did that affect your relationships with your partners?
I mean, it didn't really affect them. I don't know. I don't really know.
As in your decision to change.
Oh man.
Are you in any relationship now?
No, not right now. I mean, I have been. Like, the girlfriend that I was dating before, like, I told her before I even told my mom that I wanted to become a boy, because if she wasn't gonna be like accepting of it, then I wasn't gonna keep dating her, because, like, you know what I mean? Like, so then, like, she's just like, you gotta tell your mom, like, like, you need to do this if you really want to. So I eventually ended up telling her.
What percentage of parents would be like your mother? I have no
idea.
Because we have my kids are. I have 2 kids who are 29, and then my daughter is 23, and we're about as accepting as you can get. And I know we would, but it would be a leap. You know,
Yep.
it would take something. Like, did it take you, Carrie, at all, just to wrap your mind around and take a bit?
Yeah.
I think you kind of knew.
in a way, like
I think she knew.
Right.
You asked me one day while we were in the living room. You're just like, "Do you ever wanted to do that?" Like when
Were we watching
I
something?
think we were watching something, and I knew then, but she like asked me, and I was just like, "Oh my, I can't tell you right now." Like I couldn't do it right then, but like I knew, and I feel like she knew before I even told her. So I don't think it was like that much of a surprise. I mean, it probably was, but.
Even though this, you know, we have you and your mother on, this really was a family
Yeah.
affair.
The first time we went to the doctors, all of us went.
Right.
The brother and
Yep.
sister, yeah, we all went, and they're like, "Wow, your whole family?" Because sometimes they go there just by themselves.
Right. Well, we've talked a lot about your mother, but what about your father? He's gaining a new son.
Right.
How does he feel?
I think he's accepting of it and everything. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like he's still like trying to figure it out too. Like I think more than mom because I see her
Right.
more than I see him. But he calls me Konnor and stuff. Like he'll slip up sometimes, but he knows that I want to do this. And he said that he was proud of me for taking this step. So that was a big thing.
Do you have many friends who have told you that they just could not go to their parents and tell them this, or you know, any really difficult topic like this?
I mean, like, yeah, like, not about the whole transgender thing, but even just about, like, coming out as, like, bisexual or even like that. Like, some parents just aren't even accepting of that. So sometimes they have a hard time even just coming out to their parents for that. So, I mean,
Right.
I don't know. That would be so hard for me. Like,
If I wasn't,
yeah, if she wasn't.
But you, as we were talking about that piece on the news here recently where that person committed suicide, I think that story must repeat itself so often, whether it's transgender or being gay, not having anybody to turn to if
Yeah.
your parent is shutting you off.
Yep.
is that the one? I think that was locked in their room pretty much for 5 months. Is that the one?
I'm not sure, but
Yes.
There was
that
one
w-
like that we just read that the parents gave no cell phone.
Oh,
Like,
that's
took
it.
everything away.
Right.
Took
and, like,
everything
I
away
don't-
for 5 months and just made them stay home from school.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't
it.
imagine doing that.
I
to
wouldn't
my
even
kid.
know what. Oh my god, I would have went crazy.
And then at
Like,
the
I,
funeral,
like-
I think they
They
s-
dressed her in a suit,
'cause-
like to be like. They still said that like it was their son, and like they had her old name that was like on the. Like, oh my god, I don't know.
So in other words, mom could not dress you out of being a boy.
Nope, never.
he doesn't even have any clothes that are girls.
No.
It's been a long time, a lot of years.
Yeah.
Since pretty much 8th grade.
Right. So how long does the process is the process of transition, is that kind of like a lifetime thing,
Yeah.
with the hormones and everything?
I'll have to take testosterone for the rest of my life. So
But right now you have the gel
yeah.
Right.
So
for
it's
6 months.
Yeah, so in April I'll be able to switch over to shots, which they say it works faster.
Now, where do you go for something like that? I can't imagine that local doctors, you must have to go to a bigger institution.
We go to Burlington. I don't know, what's the place called?
Riverside,
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Dr. Anker. Yep.
Yep.
How are they?
Nice, they're really nice.
Hmm. You actually had a friend that told you about it.
Yep. He's like, I went here and like he looks like you wouldn't even think he was a girl.
Mm-mm.
So I was just like, yep, I'm going there. I was like,
Do you know so are there other people here in this area that you know of who are going through the transition that you've been able to connect with?
there was a person that went to the high school who did try going through the transition but didn't like it. So I kind of knew about it beforehand, but
And they went back.
then, yeah, so that's like the only person I know around here that
Right.
is doing that or did do that.
I know there was a person a few years ago, maybe 20 years ago even, he actually had grandkids, and he was very out there. He was actually interviewed in the newspapers and such, trying to educate people. So yeah, I'd say that was probably 20 years ago.
Yeah. And I even remember when I was in high school, I didn't see very many gay or lesbian people, but you see them all over the
yeah.
school. How much it's changed, where people feel more comfortable about coming out.
There's a lot more people this generation, I feel like, that feel like,
They can come out.
yeah.
Do you think there's other people here though that they, especially the older generations, even our generation, because we are getting older, do you think there's people who might be watching this, we're thinking, and they maybe even gone on and got married, as well, that's me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you
Yep.
think there's people out there that are going to be, even though they might be married and everything, they might identify with what you're saying?
Yep, I definitely feel like that could be a possibility. Yep.
Well, how would you have felt if she had been an unhappy woman all of her life versus having a happy son?
Yeah, that would have break my heart if she felt like way back she couldn't tell me anything, even if it was through a text. I'm so glad she told me.
Yeah, probably. How come a text?
I'm not good at, like, I can't, I'm not good at conversations. Like,
That's how come you're on TV.
Well, especially, like, with her, though, because, like,
I don't know why.
I don't know. It's always been like that.
Even though I'm always accepting, he still has a hard time talking to me about it.
But at least started the conversation.
Yeah.
Now I talk.
I
I ask him questions all the time because I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
What would we have done back in our day? We didn't have text.
I don't know.
And our telephone was still connected to the wall, so your
Maybe
mother
a letter. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I probably would have done that, too. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So you're continually asking questions. What about the global family? Have they been pretty good about it?
My side.
Yeah.
There has been some struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, her dad's.
But the bottom line is, it's your issue.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a certain amount that there's, you can't change people's minds, and I have a feeling you're really confident that you are who you are, and you know what is their loss. But on the other hand, to be fair to them, it is, if my daughter came home, I would accept it, but I'm not going to tell you it wouldn't be something that I would have to really put my, the change, going from having a daughter to a son. Yeah, that would take a bit, but I think I can tell you're very understanding of it, and
Right.
just because you're willing to answer people's questions, it isn't, you don't view those questions, like I know you probably know when somebody's just being, I don't know, you could probably tell when somebody's serious at wanting to know.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And you got little cousins that'll be correct everybody. It's Konnor. It's Konnor. And they're more accepting than some of the adults. And
Yeah.
I know that some people might tell me I'm wrong, is I still think we live in a very, very accepting area. We might not sound it sometimes. We might not sound it. We might not agree with certain things, but I still think the bottom line is, as I tell people, we like to play together, we like to work together, we like to fight together too.
Yep.
But the bottom line is, I still think the people who had Carissa's back is going to have Konnor's back. And I still think that's, no matter what, I still think we're pretty good people. Sometimes we say some rude and crass things, but I think sometimes it's out of lack of understanding. I don't like the word ignorance, because ignorance, I don't think, even though ignorance is a lack of understanding, I still think there's a negative connotation. I just think
Yeah.
people sometimes are afraid of what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I even look at myself in the last 20, like, can you look back over 20 years and say you've changed just in different ways?
Yeah.
Like, are you the same person?
No.
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 I'm one
I
of
don't
these
think
people. I wished I could go back to high school. I always said I would never say this. I wished I could go back to high school and know what I know now. Because, when you're in high school, you hate that saying.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it's so true. When you get 20 years from now, even 5 years, you're going to talk about the young people. These young
Right.
people.
Yeah.
We all do it. I have a diary entry from 1880. This woman from Charleston was wringing her hands talking about the lazy young people of today, 1880. So
Yeah.
we
Wow.
always do it. So we only have a few more minutes. This is your time. Anything else you'd like to tell? Look right out there. Tell the viewers anything you want to know. Anything you want to tell them.
I guess that, like, if you're afraid to come out to your parents, like, at least try. And, like, just don't be afraid. Like, they might not be accepting of it, but they could be. And, like, you just might never know until you try, I guess. So.
And wouldn't you say, because, we've talked about suicide. Suicide
Right.
is not an option.
No.
Where do you go if you have somebody, whether you want to come out as gay, well, not want, whether you choose to come out or transgender, and you don't have your mother? Where do you go?
I mean, like, I don't even know. I mean, like, friends, obviously, but I mean, if you don't even have that, I have no idea, like.
What about guidance counselors? How are guidance counselors in school?
She's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good. I'm not a talker.
And here you are.
I'm not a person, like, I don't know.
So,
But that's an option.
you say you're not a talker.
I'm really not.
Were you touchy-feely like a girl, or were you more like a guy in that way then?
I don't even know.
I know more emotion-wise. He has no emotion.
No.
It's like a guy.
Well, I hate to say it. My wife and I, we have it totally reversed. I'm the touchy-feely guy with a psychology degree. She's the one who grew up with all brothers, and it's black and white. That's it. No BS.
That's me.
My daughter's more like me. We cry over every. No emotions.
I don't even.
Not sad movies. It's just
I don't know. It's never been that way. I don't know. Got dad into me there.
Yep, I guess so.
Did it ever cross your mind? Because I noticed from Facebook that this was a topic out on Facebook with you. I guess I haven't. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
But I noticed it was a topic out there, and that's why I invited you on. But I also told your mother, well, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it, because I didn't want you. I wanted to make sure you felt comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make sure this is something you wanted to do. How did you decide? How did your mother go to you and say, "Hey, I've approached you"? What did she say to you?
I don't know. She was just like, "This guy wants to interview you if you want to do it," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like I just never thought like I would be like this kind of like person to like talk about it. I guess I don't know, because I'm not usually a talker, like usually keeps
a lot of stuff
like I don't know, but then I was just like I probably should do this because it's not something you see every day, so
but I also think there's also, you probably don't want other people to have to hide.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're out there.
Right.
Here's a question. 'Cause I know what viewers. There are going to be some viewers. Oh, you're just choosing to do this. You're just choosing.
Yeah.
Can anybody just choose to be their sex?
No. You can't choose it. Like, you feel it, I guess. Like, just like like you can't choose to be gay or something. Like if you ask like a straight person, like, oh, would you like if you were a girl, would you ever kiss a girl? And they'd be like, no, like I didn't feel like that.
Right.
Like you
I've
can't
asked
just
you
like
that
you
before.
can't choose to be anything. I guess like it just comes.
Right. So no amount, because, you know, with this, back to that story, we were talking about the parents sent the kid to counseling. Is there any amount of counseling that could change you?
Nope. You can't. Like, this is who you are. This is, like, what you were put here to do and what you were meant to be. So, that's how I picture it.
Final words, Mom.
If there's a kid out there, please just tell your parents, and hopefully they'll be as accepting as I was.
Okay, Konnor. And do you have any words to your mother? I know you're not touchy-feely,
I'm
but do you
not.
have any words to say to your mother?
Well, I thank her, you know, for being supportive and stuff, and I love her. Yeah. Don't cry, Mom. Stop it.
He knows me too well. We've been through a lot together.
Yeah.
And you got a lot more to go.
Yep.
but
Right.
Yep.
Anything to the viewers now?
And just be yourself. Like, don't be afraid to be who you are. Just own it, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And hopefully the parents are accepting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming on, and thank you for for telling your story, because I do think there's going to be people out there who are going to benefit from you coming on.
I hope so.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you to the viewers for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.